Hi, January Consultants. It's Christina Stark. Hopefully you caught me live. Sorry, I'm a little bit late to the party, but at least I'm worth the wait. That's what I always tell my husband. Haha. Just went on to the All Consultants page and hope you saw our little fun live there with Heather Webster and myself. So make sure you go check that out afterwards, because you want to be in on that, and I'm not going to say any more, so you'll just have to go and check that out. All right, so thank you so much, guys, for being amazing. I'm seeing all of these posts, and it's really, I'm hoping that you seeing how people are being able to achieve their goals is maybe lighting a fire underneath you, but I'm going to put a little disclaimer on there. Remember, everyone is in a different situation. You cannot compare your race with somebody else's race. Okay? So those of you who are single and don't, have other responsibilities with kids or whatnot, or those of you who have, are empty nesters, or maybe those of you who have 2 kids versus 4, 6, 8 kids. You guys have different lives. So make sure that your race is run at the pace that you can maintain it. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. All right. Although sometimes we have these sprints towards the end of the month, but we want to make sure that they're sustainable. Okay. So I just want to remind you of that. Okay. So today's daily nugget, that was a nugget in itself already, but I want to talk to you about something that has come up. Actually, this has been approached to me 3 times in 3 days. That means on Friday, because I don't work on the weekends, although I kind of do post some things, but I got these questions that came up on Friday, Monday, and Tuesday. Almost all the same question. And I'm going to put it this way. What are you doing to help your new hires, your new team members be successful? Look at this, this is my analogy. Think of yourself as a new employee at Subway. You're a new employee. You've never worked in food. You've never worked a cash register. Think about your very first job as a teen. You walked in and they said, "Welcome. We're so glad you're here, and go to it." You're like, okay. What if they were to say, "Hey, go change the syrup in the soda machine"? Okay, how do I do that? I don't know. Here, just go do it. Okay, how about go bake some bread? Well, what's the recipe? For how long? What temperature? Oh, you'll be great. You'll just learn. You'll just learn it on the job. I'm going to tell you, unfortunately, that's what's happening here at Jamberry. And what it is that we have leaders who are doing exactly what they were taught to do. And so they don't know that they're doing anything different. So I want you to put yourself out of where you're at right now. I'm not blaming anybody because you just haven't been taught properly. This is why I'm asking you, have you set your new team members up for success? Think about your new hire training. That is what we call in the corporate world onboarding. What does your onboarding look like? What are you doing for your team members to help them feel a part of the team, that they have the right tools and know what they're doing? Because I'm going to tell you, majority of people, and what do we talk about majority? Like 90% of people have never done this business. They've never spoken about having to do a booking. They don't know how to do recruiting. They don't know how to answer questions if a question comes up that they, they don't have the answers for it. And so let's talk about how we're going to do this. I want you, again, Take off your current hat of how you do your training. Like, this is what I'm hearing, and I'm not blaming anybody again. When you have a new team member and you say, welcome team member, would you like me to help you with your launch party? And they decide that they don't want your help. You're like, okay. And you just let them go. And you wonder why they're not doing fast starts. You wonder why they're not selling. Or you say, well, I've given her everything. I've talked to her and told her everything she needs to do. How often did you call her? Just that one time. Think about that. What if you were given a task list of 100 things to do, but you weren't told when to do them, or in what order to do them, or how to do them? How would you feel? I think a bit overwhelmed, right? So that's what I'm talking about. So what we have is we have this really great checklist. And this is already circulating out there. But what I've heard, unfortunately, is that we've been sending these out to our new recruits. This, and I've revamped this so that this is a reminder. This is for sponsor use only. Please note, sponsor use only. This sheet right here, this Fast Start checklist, is for you to keep in your binder or folder of your team member. What you're going to be doing is you will be having 6 calls with them. 6 separate calls. A lot of these calls are to give bite-sized chunks of information. Again, have you heard the term drinking from the fire hose? Holy cow. How many of us, again, going into let's say Subway, and now you have to make all of these sandwiches, yet you've never learned how to do that? Or you have to change the soda machine, the syrup in it, and you've never been taught what needs to be disconnected at what time, and where do you even put the ice in? All of that kind of stuff. That is like, if I were to tell you all that on day one as a new employee, you'd sit there and go, you'd feel paralyzed. And I'm afraid that's where our new team members are feeling. They're feeling paralyzed. So these calls are in reference to getting them started. What is call number 1? Helping them with their launch party. And I'm going to tell you right now, you are their safety net. Do not let these ladies do their parties by themselves. If they want to do them by themselves, you are still watching so that if there are any questions or if there's anything that they feel uncomfortable with, that you're there as a safety net. There are some women who will be more than happy to take this on, take charge. They are rock stars. There are those ladies. But there are also ladies who are not quite sure. So do the party with them, especially if they're doing something online, in person. It's really helpful to have just somebody there to hold their hand, to know that you are their safety net. Again, that's what we have put here, and I'm hoping that you guys can see this, but basically it says, ask if she'd like to try, right here, running the party with or without your help. And let her know that you will attend her launch party so as to answer any questions during or after the party. Now, I know that may seem a little bit overwhelming for you, but think about how many launch parties you're attending currently. You need to set up on a date that will work for both of you, but hopefully sooner than later. And you want to make sure that she gets her questions answered so she is getting that onboarding, that new training, that she feels success. If her party is a dud, then we need to talk about host coaching. And that is something that we talk about in our call 2s and 3s, okay? We want to talk to her about her fast starts. We're updating the fast start trackers. Okay, this is a checklist for you. The trackers are for them, so they can keep track of what they need to have regarding QV and then their recruit or style VIP members. That is what we want to make sure. The Fast Start Tracker is for the team member, and the Fast Start Checklist is to keep reference for tracking when she achieves her Fast Start periods, when she has her recruits, if she gets recruits, and what her QV is going to be, okay, when she achieves that. Want to make sure that you're keeping up on that. When you are talking, you need to talk about the Fast Start program. If you don't talk about the Fast Start program and how she can be successful, if you are uncomfortable talking about that because you still don't understand it, talk to your upline. And if you still don't understand that, come talk to me. All right? I'm here to help you out. Remember, I'm your support system. But make sure that you reach up through your uplines. But it's important to let them know what's coming and how the Fast Start checklist or the Fast Start trackers work and the rewards that they get. But this is basically their onboarding. You're wanting to help them out with that. Not only do you have that, but you're going to be answering any questions that they may have had from the previous call. What does that mean? That when you have call number 1, you're going to talk to her about her launch party, and then you're going to set up a date. The date of when you're going to call her next. Now, if that happens to be next week or the week after, find out how that works. If she can't talk on the phone or via Facebook Messenger or whatever it is, voice is best. Text is second best, all right? We'll take what we can get. But we want to make sure that you are a support system for them, setting them up for success. And at the end of that call, you'll call then on that date, and you'll talk with her and say, okay, I'm going to be calling with you on Friday at 2:00. Is that the best time for you? And she'll say yes. These calls only need to be 10, 15 minutes at the most. Don't talk any more than that unless she likes to talk. So just set her up for that. So let's see here. Claire is asking them, talking to them. Okay, that's another question. If you've helped them through their fast starts and talking to them regularly, maybe you're calling them too often. Maybe they feel overwhelmed. If they're not doing anything, you need to bless and release. Those are the people that you want to convert to Style VIP because they are product lovers. That's what they are. They're product lovers. But you need to know that they are Style VIP members, okay? And convert them to that. Bless and release, and you need to start looking elsewhere. Don't forget that Style VIPs work for you too. They're not going to help you necessarily rank, but they're going to help you with your TRB, okay? So bless and release, that's another skill set that you have to learn how to do. So I've taught you how to do this. So you're basically going to be following this checklist, keeping it to yourself. Do not hand this out to them, because if you were to get this, you would feel overwhelmed too. And I'm sorry, that's probably what has happened, but there's been some misinformation because this came out of a lead consultant to TM training that we've done several months back. And I think that a lot of people didn't read the information clearly or understand it very well. Okay. So we want to make sure that you have that. I honestly would, when you get a new team member on there, don't forget that you want to show them how to place orders, how to work the back office. If you haven't tried Zoom, which is a free conference call program, you can go to zoom.us. There's an opportunity for you to share your screen so you can show them how you would go in the back office. Even if they're not there, you can go and share your screen, show how you go through the back office and submit orders and redeem host rewards. This is really important because if you have a new person and you haven't taught them how to use the cash register, they're not going to put money in the cash register and they're just going to give up. Erica, I have no idea if that works on mobile devices. You could turn it landscape and see if that's possible. Also, Facebook Live, if you turn it sideways, you can actually invite that person and you can bring them in and have a conversation that way. I just learned that. That's pretty cool. So there are, oh, and Brianne says, Erica, yes, Erica Olson, it does. So thank you for answering that. When you are asking them to recruit, I think it's best to ask them to find a buddy to join in the journey as well. Somebody that they can start at the same time and be pace partners with. And also, when you're training this, you could train 2 people at the same time so that there's a reinforcement and, having them work together is a great thing. That way, then they already have a friend to join them in their Jamboree journey. You want to make sure that you're helping them out. So one of the things that I don't think people are receiving is a new recruit packet. This is a packet. This is something that we get in every corporate job that I've ever worked. There's always a new welcome packet for the new hire. And that includes just a few things to help them get acclimated to their situation or their new position. What does that new recruit packet include? Well, it can include an orange stick, a half sheet of wraps, or maybe just a sample sheet. Maybe it's a full sheet because you love her so much, something from your stash. It can include a host brochure, some order forms, a catalog. Those things, because she's waiting for her starter kit to arrive, she can use that to start collecting orders for her launch party if she is, wants to get that rolling so she's not waiting. Remember, you want to have her launch party within 7 to 10 days of her joining. If you push it out beyond that, the enthusiasm wanes and then they just don't make it a priority anymore and they don't feel the success. And if you've forgotten them, they're not going to feel or want to do that. You've got to get them while they're excited. All right. Also, another item that is highly recommended is a personalized note. How good does it feel to get a note from somebody saying how awesome they are? I know that you guys are excited when I send out cards to you or that you receive something from your upline. When you get that jam mail, it's the best. And that note card, usually they put that in a place where they can see it and they feel valued. So having a small envelope with a welcome card that's personalized, telling them how much they mean to you, along with some additional items. It doesn't have to be much. I know people put in a lot of the worksheets from the dashboard to help them. Maybe it's a who do you know list. Have them use that for their launch party. The trackers, just some FAQs and things like that. Those are super helpful as well. Getting her to have a packet, but telling her, don't worry about everything in here because we'll go through it, gives her a sense of, I don't have to memorize everything this week. I don't have to feel overwhelmed. It gives her a little grace and gives her some support knowing that you will take care of her. All right. So if you guys have some ideas of what goes on in your new recruit packet, put that down below. So of course, what you put in there is optional, but I highly recommend welcoming them to the team and giving them some support and some success documents will help them feel much better. Let's see. I want you to make your system duplicable. What does that mean? Make it simple, but effective. So that what I'm seeing is that what their person taught them, they end up doing. And what your new person learns from you is what they're going to end up doing. So if they haven't done anything except say, hey, do you want me to help you with your launch party? And they say, yes. And you help them with the launch party and that's it. Then they'll most likely do that. But what happens when the person that they recruit says, no, I don't want any help. And they say, okay, that's where it ends. That's all that's going to happen. So make sure that you have a system that can duplicate itself all the way down the line with every person. And that means that, keep training on this with your people. When you have your team meetings, remind them of what they need to do to make their people successful. You are the CEO of your own company. Do you want it to be successful or do you want it to be so-so? I'm hoping you choose it to be successful. So teach the things that will help your people be successful. That is my challenge today for you. All right, guys, have a wonderful time or a wonderful day. Have a great weekend. Things are crazy. Make sure you go back to watch some of the other videos. If you haven't had a chance to watch them, go to the All Consultants page to see what Heather Webster and what fun we put on there. And thanks so much for being an awesome group. Hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.